Welcome to the Adam Roosevelt Show, where we provide short coverage and highlights on foreign affairs and U.S. politics Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. We've now come to episode 6. Today, we will be covering U.S. content governance in healthy dialogue, which I've coined the term following the White House Correspondents' Dinner. This week, starting off, President Biden has launched a Disinformation Governance Board. This board falls under the U.S. Department of Homeland Security. And what we are told, the core objective of this governance board is to effectively counter foreign adversaries from leveraging information warfare against the American people. We understand that there may be foreign adversaries who focus on leveraging information warfare for the purposes of influencing elections, for the purposes of influencing American citizens to believe a certain narrative, hundreds of thousands of different narratives, depending on who is behind this particular campaign. Now, let's look at a few key factors here in order for us to really unpackage this governance board. One, Americans consume information by radio, TV, social media, blogs, and more mediums. If they're going to counter these adversaries, these foreign entities, as they say, they would need, in some way, shape, or fashion, to control content. Very dangerous. Number two, we have had a historical set of events in American history that have leveraged government power for the purposes of counterterrorism, homegrown extremism, in terms of countering homegrown extremism, limiting information warfare. And all of this has been good from the perspective of the narrative in which we've been informed. However, when we unpackage the activity that's truly being carried out behind the scenes, government accountability remains a very important factor and a key pillar to maintaining the protections of civil rights, civil liberties, and I'll get into that. Let me talk about 2013, where President Obama, and Vice President Biden oversaw a program codenamed PRISM. This program was essentially a program headed by the National Security Agency, working with other intelligence agencies, again, to accomplish the national security objective of protecting the American people for some purpose. Okay. But what we uncovered, which was unfortunate, is that this program was targeting Americans, and it was an unconstitutional program that leveraged unconstitutional surveillance. But the American people were told this is about protecting the national security interest. Now, they went as far as monitoring emails, monitoring internet calls, monitoring chats, all without a warrant. Now, I was fortunate enough to have a cyber policy major and graduated from a nice college, University of Maryland, University College, U.S. military recommended, and I conducted an assessment of hundreds of rulings that impacted civil rights, civil liberties, and privacy in the digital domain, such as Raleigh versus California. In this particular case, the court unanimously held that warrantless searches and seizures of digital content of a cell phone during an arrest was unconstitutional. Now, you may not see the connection to this term or to this story. However, it ended up ruling in the favor of Riley, ruling in the favor of all of us. What happened is we had people who carried out a search and seizure of an asset and went as far as accessing the cloud, went as far as accessing information that they were not supposed to access. So, training law enforcement, making sure that they were seizing property and not going through property without having a warrant that is very uh, precise in terms of what the officer was allowed to do. Again, it always appears that these things do not have connections in terms of laws, procedures. However, in this particular case, the scope was very limited. They expanded the scope and effectively infringed upon specific rights, primarily because a phone has so many integration points into a person's life, has your wife's information, your wife's photos, intimate photos, and so much data to seize that property and to go through it is extremely, extremely dangerous, because now it opens that up to so much more information that ties you into corporate policies, corporate information, so much. And the court ruled in the favor of Riley, and I would say in the favor of the American people. But let's continue on. We'll give you continuous updates on that and what's happening. Now, in foreign affairs, President Putin will undergo a surgery and is temporarily transferring power to ex-FSB chief Nikolai Patrushev, who is currently the head of Russia's Federal Police's Security Council. This will require full security provisions. As you all know, Russia is in a critical position as a nation right now, undergoing this current war with the Ukraine. We're also told that President Putin is said to have changed his entire health routine, taken extreme measures to lengthen his health. And we understand that President Putin has cancer. This surgery will be taking place shortly. We don't know, we can't confirm exactly the date, but we do know that there will be extreme preparation. He will be under heavy armed guard oversight to carry this out while his counterpart runs the country for a very limited time. Our last story of today, if you all have not watched the White House Correspondent Dinner, Trevor Noah was our comedic act, was very entertaining commentary. And many of you know or do not know, but this is a forum that is attended by the news elites, political elites, Hollywood, and other VIPs. It is truly a must watch. You must see it to believe it. But there was so many comments, so many targets on folks who essentially were on the receiving end of the commentary. But I recommend you watch it. All right, we're coming to a close. Episode 6, U.S. Content Governance and Healthy Dialogue. Please subscribe to our channel on YouTube and Instagram. And we look forward to seeing you Wednesday again. Welcome to the Adam Roosevelt Show.